It makes you feel good. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, it adds a little bit more competition because if you got a guy out there that's not performing up to the level that's expected, then you feel comfortable putting another guy in that's probably just as capable and giving them an opportunity. So it's good to have the depth. I think this is the first year where we really finally have depth at all positions. You know, one year it might have been corner, one year it might have been safety, but corner, safety, nickels, and dimes, we got a lot of guys back there that can play for us.
How much of this spring is just going to be exploring between corner and safety and seeing who fits where?
You know, it won't be as much as people think. I mean, I think that at the cornerback spot, we know who we like out there. We know who we like at safety. The biggest deal is going to be the nickel spot, finding out that nickel, and then actually finding out which safety is going to take over. You know, obviously replacing Stephen Parker and Will Johnson's, it's going to require a lot, not just from an athletic ability, but from a leadership standpoint. So I think we got the guys in the spots where we like them at. It's just a matter of going through the spring and seeing which one's going to emerge as a leader.
How big is that freshman to sophomore jump when you see the Trays, Robert Barnes, guys like that making that second-year jump?
Well, you should feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, it should be a huge jump. You know, freshman year, you're just kind of out there running around, playing off your athletic ability. But now these guys have played a lot of football for us as true freshmen. They've come back. They've got a great grasp for a system and the expectations. They understand the drill works. And now it's, about piecing together what the offense is doing and really coming into your own and letting your athletic abilities take over.
You've had 2 practices now with Buki. What have you liked out of him so far?
Man, I just tell you, he's everything that I thought he would be. He's not polished right now, obviously, but as far as just very instinctive, very athletic. I mean, the kid can play nickel. He can bounce him out at corner. He's just a football player. He's got a high football IQ. So you saw that, but you really don't. You never know what you're going to get until you actually see that, and it's good to see that he's everything that we thought he would be.
Where do you see him fitting in long term, or is that what the spring is about, is figuring out which one of those groups he fits best at?
Yeah, I think Buki's probably, if there's a guy that can play all 3 positions back there, right now we've got him at nickel and safety, but, I've thrown him out at corner at one-on-ones, and he looked just fine, So, I mean, he's played everything coming up throughout his junior high school career, so he's comfortable everywhere, but he looks really, really good inside at nickel and safety.
Who else has been working at it nickel a lot?
We've got Patrick Fields there. Chance played nickel for us as well last year. So really those 3 guys, and we've thrown Justin Broyles in there a little bit to see. So we've got 4 guys that we're kind of seeing, who's going to be the true nickel, and then also who's going to be the dime, because, your second nickel is typically, your first dime.
We think of that as a safety spot. In the NFL, they almost treat it as a corner. Mm-hmm. How much you got to be a hybrid to be able to play that?
I think for what we do with being able to rush that guy and ask him to cover, ask him to play some zones, you really want a guy that's able to do it all. And, in the NFL, when you see those guys slide inside, it's probably, a lot of man-to-man stuff. But with our system, we need a guy that's going to be able to play some zone, play some man, and also be able to rush off the edge. So, I think it's critical for us to get a guy that's kind of that safety, cover, corner type guy, with the ability to run. Yeah, basically.
You mentioned trying to find those voices. Has anyone stood out during these first couple of days?
I think right now, I think, guys want to say things, so you hear them every now and then say it. It's just a matter of just being confident and just going ahead and take the reins. I mean, not waiting and seeing if it's okay. I mean, I've told them, listen, you've played a lot of football for us, and even if you hadn't, you're out here for a reason. You're at OU, you know what I mean? So don't be afraid to voice your opinion, you know what I'm saying, as long as you're voicing it in the right way. So it's going to be a growing process for those guys to be able to voice their opinion. I'll tell you, the one guy that's kind of stepped up, which I'm happy for, he's got to continue to learn how to lead, is Parnell Motley. He's kind of been the vocal leader for these first 2 days at practice.
Was he like that at all last year, or was he more kind of to himself trying to get his own bearings?
Well, he's always a talker, so let me make sure that I clarify that. But he was typically talking to the wide receivers, you know what I'm saying? But now he's actually talking to the group, to the defense, to the defensive backs. He's talking about with the young guys, where their eyes and fundamentally, how they should be. So he's being more of a leader from a defensive perspective now.
How much of a talker is Robert Barnes?
Barnes isn't very much of a talker. Barnes is more of a quiet guy. He's more of a lead by example guy, but he's a very hard worker.
Yeah, we didn't get the chance to talk to you a lot last year, but how big was that loss of Jordan Parker?
It's critical. I mean, you got a guy that played a lot of football for you as a true freshman, and then you lose him before the season, or really right when the season starts. So now you got to thrust some guys that may or may not be ready into that deal. Not just from an athletic standpoint. The one guy that I know can be a great leader for us is JP. You know what I mean? So it'd be good to get him back after spring ball or after spring break.